Is the EV revolution dead? The electric vehicle EV revolution was once hailed as the future of transportation, with promises of cleaner air, reduced reliance on fossil fuels, and cutting-edge innovation. Because of innovators like Tesla, electric cars have come to represent advancements in technology. However, as time has gone on, there have been major obstacles in the way of EV advancement. The EV movement's momentum has been called into question by a number of factors, including rising production costs, supply chain interruptions, adjustments to government policies, and enduring customer reluctance. The absence of enough infrastructures for charging and environmental concerns around battery production is further complicating the situation. Critical obstacles are currently facing what formerly appeared to be an unstoppable force for change, one that could impede or even stop its advancement. Is the EV revolution coming to an end, or is it just passing through a transitional stage? The question of whether the EV revolution is over becomes more complex than ever as we delve further into the current condition of the sector. Chain disruptions in supply. Constant supply chain disruptions are one of the main challenges facing the electric vehicle EV industry today. The supply of elements like nickel, cobalt, and lithium, all essential for EV batteries, affects the manufacture of electric cars significantly. Production and distribution of electric vehicles have been delayed during the last few years due to problems with the supply chain. Global occurrences like the COVID-19 pandemic and geopolitical unrest have intensified these disturbances, resulting in escalated expenses and deceleration in output. For EV producers in particular, battery shortages have turned into a major bottleneck. Consumer wait times have increased and sales have decreased as a result of the inability of battery manufacturers to keep up with the growing demand for electric vehicles. The cost of essential materials keeps going up as manufacturers struggle to find sources, which makes it more difficult for businesses to make affordable electric automobiles. Concerns over the EV revolution's future are raised by these setbacks, as protracted supply chain issues may prevent the industry from growing much more. Increasing production expenses. The affordability of electric cars, EVs, for the mainstream market is under question due to the huge increase in production costs. Although the cheaper fuel and maintenance costs of EVs were first touted as a long-term cost-saving measure for consumers, the initial cost of buying an electric car is still higher than that of a conventional gasoline vehicle. This price increase is partly due to rising raw material costs, especially for EV batteries. Automakers have also been obliged to make significant investments in new factories, supply lines, and technology as a result of the switch to EV production, which has increased costs. The transition from internal combustion engines to electric powertrains is proving to be an expensive undertaking for numerous automakers. In addition to having an effect on manufacturers, these growing production costs make it more challenging for organizations and governments to provide tax advantages and subsidies to encourage the broad use of electric vehicles. Policies of the government and changing rules. The EV revolution has been largely fueled by government regulations, with several nations providing incentives and establishing aggressive deadlines for phase-outs of internal combustion engines. However, the future of the EV business is now more uncertain due to recent changes in governmental goals and regulatory frameworks. The expansion of EV sales has slowed in some areas as a result of government cuts to EV subsidies or funding reallocations to other industries. For instance, EV incentive programs have fluctuated in the US, UK, and Germany, which makes it more difficult for buyers to justify the higher price of electric vehicles. Furthermore, the legislative climate has become unpredictable due to shifts in environmental laws and emissions rules under several administrations, which has left consumers and automakers uncertain about long-term commitments to electric vehicle adoption. Perhaps, though some governments are still dedicated to moving towards an entirely electric future, uneven policies could impede development and perhaps slow down the EV revolution. Reluctance and concern about the range. One of the main obstacles to the broad adoption of electric vehicles EVs is range anxiety, or the worry that an EV will run out of energy before reaching a charging station. Despite recent considerable advancements in EV technology, many models now have ranges over 300 miles on single charge. Consumer reluctance still exists. This concern has been exacerbated by the inadequate infrastructure for charging, especially in poor and rural nations. Concerns over charging station availability and speed are also shared by consumers. In many places, EV charging facilities are still very rare, in contrast to gas stations, which are widely distributed and offer fast refueling. Furthermore, charging an automobile at a fast charging station takes a lot longer than refueling a gasoline-powered vehicle. Potential customers are still much discouraged by this problem, especially those who regularly travel great distances. Traditional automakers competition. Traditional automakers are now stepping up their efforts in the EV sector, even if early EV pioneers like Tesla led the charge in electric mobility. Automakers like Ford, General Motors, and Volkswagen have made bold announcements about electrifying their lineups and committing billions of dollars to the development of electric vehicles. But because of the crowded market that has resulted from the increasing competition, it is now harder for startups and smaller companies to acquire momentum. While competition can spur innovation, it can also result in oversaturation of the market, which could impede growth. Conventional automakers have an edge in scaling EV production because of their well-established production capabilities and well-known brands. Their ambitions for electric vehicles may clash with their heavy reliance on their internal combustion engine operations. Maintaining a balance between these two areas may lead to internal conflicts and impede the shift to entirely electric vehicles. Furthermore, cost pressures may drive some automakers to either raise prices or degrade the quality of their vehicles as more enter the EV market, both of which might have a negative effect on consumer enthusiasm. Recycling batteries and environmental issues. Although EVs are frequently promoted as a more environmentally friendly option than gasoline-powered vehicles, worries regarding their effects on the environment are starting to emerge. The majority of EVs are powered by lithium-ion batteries, which are produced using a lot of energy and raw materials. In certain areas, the mining of these minerals, which include nickel, cobalt, and lithium, has been connected to violations of human rights and environmental damage. Furthermore, the problem of battery recycling and disposal grows with the number of electric vehicles on the road. There aren't many choices available right now for recycling spent EV batteries, which could cause waste management issues down the road. If the ecological costs of battery production and disposal are not addressed, the environmental benefits of electric vehicles may be eclipsed. Governments and automakers are funding R&D to create recycling programs and advance battery technology, but a major obstacle still stands in the way due to a lack of infrastructure. Ensuring the sustainability of the electric vehicle EV revolution requires addressing these environmental issues. Autonomous EVs future. There is still optimism for the future of the EV sector despite its difficulties, especially with the growing popularity of autonomous electric vehicles. The transportation sector could undergo a radical change thanks to autonomous driving technology, and many experts predict that electric vehicles EVs will be crucial to this development. The development of autonomous electric vehicles by firms like Tesla, Waymo, and Uber has the potential to revolutionize how people commute and travel. By maximizing driving patterns, autonomous EVs have the potential to lessen traffic jams, increase road safety, and cut emissions. Furthermore, autonomous fleets might be employed for ride-sharing services, which would decrease the demand for private automobile ownership and boost the use of electric vehicles. Final thoughts: while the EV revolution is definitely at a turning point, it is by no means over. The impetus behind electric vehicles has been hampered by supply chain interruptions, cost increases, shifting government regulations, and reluctance on the part of consumers. But there is optimism for the future thanks to developments in autonomous driving, ongoing investments in battery technology, and the drive towards environmentally friendly transportation. Even if there may be obstacles in the way, the EV revolution still has the power to transform the auto industry and help create a more sustainable and environmentally friendly future. It is not an issue of whether the EV revolution will endure, but rather of how it will change in response to these obstacles. Let us know in the comments what you think about is the EV revolution dead, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more captivating content on our YouTube channel.